Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm joined by a very active Ship and Fish today, and we're going to be talking about mirrors, reflective surfaces and how they interact with your parrot. We'll be talking about generally how you shouldn't use them, and towards the end of the video some ways you can use reflective surfaces or like videos etc. to benefit your parrot. So I thought I'd start off with where me and Sophie do not recommend having mirrors and reflective surfaces, and that is in the cage. We feel that having a mirror in the cage is probably one of the worst things you can do for your parrot. And I know a lot of people mean well when they do it because it's kind of a company and the parrot seems to like it, but in reality, having a mirror in the cage is one of the worst ideas possible. Your parrot doesn't see the reflection as a reflection, your parrot sees a reflection as another bird. So your parrot's interacting with another bird and that mirror can't give them the same affection and love that they want. It will just literally be a reflection of what they're doing. And on top of that, if they see another bird and they're hormonal, it can make it much worse, especially if that bird can't return those feelings in the way they want, or if they feel aggressive or territorial towards it. So for those reasons, we feel mirrors in the cage are a really bad idea and should be avoided at all costs, you know. Some people swear by them, but honestly, given the evidence against them, what we've seen through consults, through distant past experience, all sorts of things, we just generally would say, if you can avoid a mirror, avoid it. You should be fulfilling that requirement, or another bird should. You know, you should get your bird another friend. If you can't do that, then it should be you who is giving that bird all the attention and love they deserve. Lots and lots of people like to play their parrots videos, have sort of parrot videos on for their birds to, again, fulfill the sort of role of a mirror, give them attention, give them something interesting to interact with. And first of all, I'm going to talk about why I think that's a bad idea, and then later I'm going to talk about how you can do that in a constructive way. So how I feel it's bad is if that is on all the time. So you have like some parrot ambient sound channels like Parrot Town TV, which are quite good. I normally, if I do use their footage, I'll have the monitor on for a little bit and then I'll turn it off so it's just the sounds. Other people will just have basically like companion noises constantly going on, and that can be again frustrating for your parrot. Generally your parrot wants companionship from you or another bird that can return it. Even if they don't really like each other enough, it's still a form of companionship, it's still another bird there. If you're just putting hours and hours and hours of these videos on, they can't return their feelings or attention, and it's just frustrating for them. It doesn't work the same way as it does for other animals. So I would recommend against that. Again, something like Parrot Town TV, just having the sounds on, or like I'm going to talk about as an example in a moment, limited exposure to that sort of thing is completely fine. But hours and hours of bird video sounds aren't good. If you want to give them some sort of company or some sort of stimulation, I would suggest like rainforest sounds where there's a very distant bird sound. I would suggest like music, radio, other sort of sounds rather than just the same repetitive bird noises. One exception to that may be beak grinding noises, and that would be only for limited times, but again, be very careful how you use that sort of stuff. So the boys are very busy snacking, so I'm not going to disturb them and bring them back up here. If they're happy there, I'm happy. I want to talk about the ways you can use mirrors and reflections, video footage, that sort of stuff constructively, because there are lots of ways you can, and I know in the past I haven't really covered them, so I thought this video would be a perfect opportunity to tell you how you can do things. Now with mirrors, let's start with them. Mirrors, again, out inside the cage, not very good. Constant exposure to them outside the cage is no good, especially if your parrot's hormonal. You want to be avoiding showing them reflections if they get aggressive or territorial, so no. However, mirrors can be useful for training singing. They can be useful for basically showing your bird another bird. Maybe you're planning on introducing another bird to your bird and they've never seen another one, you know, they're not used to it. Limited exposure to mirrors, showing them the reflection in the mirror can be very useful there, especially if they are aggressive, because then you can use negative reinforcement distance and reinforcement for calm to try and get your parrot to behave in a calm way around that mirror. So then, when you do bring another bird, they'll be used to being calm when they see another bird. It's a very constructive and not very well-used technique to get birds used to others. I find it very useful. It's something I kind of did with Scampi a little bit. But you do have to be very careful, as I said. You know, you don't want to do it when they're hormonal. You want to do it for small periods of time. You don't want to be in front of that mirror all the time. And if they get very hormonal, you want to sort of stop the training and restart it later. Those are very useful ways of using reflections. Again, for training, that can be useful. Having a mirror in the room when you're training so they can see another bird doing the same behaviour. useful, but again, be responsible with it. With regards to showing your parrots video footage of other parrots or even themselves, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that, but again, responsibly. You want to do it in small bursts. You want to do it for maybe 5 minutes when they're out and about. You want to do it for, just a little while when you're showing them some clips on their mobile, watching how they behave and how they react to it. That is very stimulating and entertaining to your parrot. Our conures love to watch videos of conures on on my big screen. It's almost like a cinema screen for them. They sit on my arm, they watch the videos, they enjoy it. But generally with us, it's always supervised, and if I notice them getting very aggressive and hormonal, I will turn that video off. It's, again, when the videos are on constantly and they can't be turned off, they can't be altered, that's a problem. Or if basically the behaviour is almost reinforced with the video and it's funny, oh, look at him getting excited. Maybe they're getting hormonal excited not in the right way. So we almost call it movie time. Movie time can be very useful, again, for similar reasons to mirrors, exposing your parrot to other birds before they see them, just giving them some stimulation and fun, but not leading to frustration when it's for a long period. And yeah, it can be really enjoyable, but again, use responsibly. While it's not necessarily covered in this video, I thought I'd mention it as well about sounds. Sounds generally are okay to play for limited times, but you do not want to be doing them for long periods, unless it's just an ambient noise, like I've mentioned, like a rainforest sound or the Parrot Town TV, where it's mostly music or in the background. We do use them, but we do tend to put on ambient noise most often because it's very useful. I've seen a lot of channels where it's literally just bird noises, birds screaming constantly and stuff, and that is no good for your bird. It's not going to give them the attention they want. It's just going to agitate them probably and not work very well. With regards to sounds and video topics specifically, so I did want to sort of relate this to it, you can use it for descent work again. Like with the other examples, you can do descent work around sounds and video footage, so your parrot gets used to various sounds of other parrots and generally gets used to them being around, especially if you've got solo birds. It's so useful to sort of do this prep work before you bring another bird in, because you're almost desensing them to all the aspects of a bird through seeing themselves moving, and also seeing themselves making different sounds and vocalizations. Using footage of other things, maybe movies, computer games, videos, that sort of thing, can be okay generally. It can be quite exciting. These guys like to watch me play video games. They generally like to sit there and relax. I know it's not technically reflections, however, I thought it would be worth covering in this video as well. That is all very good. When you're talking about reflections as well, it doesn't have to be mirrors or video footage. Be mindful of reflections in other objects such as TVs, reflective surfaces. Those can also have a similar effect on your parrot. You see them gravitating towards those, they're getting hormonal and funny. Be very careful of them. You can often even see it in the stainless steel bowls that aren't brushed steel, so they're basically not like opaque, they're reflective. So do be careful in those situations too. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. As usual, I do try to create footage that you enjoy. Boys have been up and down that stand continuously during this filming, really in a fussy mood. Any questions, happy to hear from you. But in the meantime, from me and two very hungry and fussy boys, take care and see you later.